All right. So, introduce yourselves.
After you, my man Steven.
Oh, so you just kind of spoiled it. So yes, my name is Steven Podzavinsky. I am a current junior at Baylor, studying on the biochemistry pre-med track.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Hmm. Go ahead,
All right.
Micah.
Thank you, thank you. Hi, my name is Micah. Nice to meet everybody. I go to Brandeis University, going from junior to senior. I'm on the pre-med track, majoring in neuroscience, minor in psychology.
Okay. All right. Hello, my name is Isaac Vaughn. I am a recent graduate from Baylor University with my degree in neuroscience. I am also a pre-med. So, I have some questions here. So, we already talked about what universities y'all went to and your major. So, how do you believe you got into your university? Start with Stephen.
Oh, definitely by pure chance. So yeah, no. So it's actually a funny story. I would say of how I got into it. So I did get in through the Verto Bears study abroad. So it seems like that I wasn't going to be in there initially, I would say, but they provided this program for like a little gateway. And I believe by like just an inch of my life that I was able to get in with like my application just on basically on how my story was with my grandfather and just like being very open about that I feel like it probably got a little emissions being like open and receptive to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
how was your academics in high school?
Academics, I would say it
Yeah.
was pretty good. I don't know my actual GPA, but my weighted GPA ended up becoming like a 4.2 because I did take like some extreme courses like physics honors, chemistry honors. I was also in an AP European history.
Nice.
So
Nice.
I
Nice.
think that like really built it upon with a 1370 SAT score as well.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
For me, I kind of want to say it was God's plan because applying to Brandeis, I still never heard of it, but I was in this program called Emerge, and my program advisor, she just kept pushing for Brandeis. She was like, "You need to apply here. I feel like you'd like it, you'd love it," and like I was just really applying to get it off my back, and I actually ended up getting in somehow. But maybe, well, I had like a lot of volunteer hours in high school, thanks to Miss Polanco. She gave me like I volunteered like 20 hours. She was like, "Here, take 80." I was like, "Bet."
Make you a hard worker.
Yeah, hard worker. My GPA was pretty good. I ended up being top 8 of the class. Uh, so I feel like that pretty much covered my academics of getting in. My SAT score, ACT, nah, I applied test optional, so that didn't even matter. I feel
Mhm.
like that also helped my case. Had I had to turn that in, maybe I wouldn't have got in. But I feel like it was kind of average. But yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up on how I got in. It was just really luck. I got there, and that was like my first time really just being out of the state also, and they ended up like flying me out, and I felt like a sugar daddy was flying me out, and I felt
Oh my
special.
gosh.
To me and my mom, I was like, oh yeah, like this is the place. But see, that's how they got me. Great school, but I have my thoughts aside. But
Mhm.
That's good. That's good.
about you, Isaac?
Oh, um, yeah, honestly, pure luck. When I was my junior year of high school, I got invited to tour it. So I was like, okay, the first tour I went to was a virtual tour, and it was pretty cool. I remember they said, you got a BU at BU for the first time. I was like, okay, that's cringe, but that's funny. So I used to say it all the time.
Mhm.
And
And then
then And then eventually I got actually invited to see it in person and I fell in love with the campus. And I was like, I'm gonna go here.
Hmm.
And so um, I applied especially because it was free. And yeah, I applied to other universities, but not on my own will. It's because of Micah. He told me to apply like 30 million, including Brandeis, but not gonna lie, I didn't even finish the application.
Bruh,
just like John
I,
Hopkins.
I, I just, I, the John Hopkins one, that one is not fully my fault.
that one hurt when we didn't get accepted.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's okay. I love Baylor. Um, yeah, I also got into the Verdo program, and thank God for it because it came with a scholarship. And then, yeah, my academics was fine. I wasn't top eight. per- I was top 25 though. I had a decently high GPA.
It's saying a
We,
lot.
me, and Micah went to the same high school, so we were competing with, and we our GPA differences was slight, and so that says quite a bit about how rigorous our program was.
How competitive
Um,
it was.
yeah,
Especially like
we,
to just get top eight and you're just so lagging behind, like so close.
yeah, like it's like a
Even,
point zero something of a difference,
huh?
Yeah.
I
and
could give
that's
Mike a ego boost.
yeah. But me and Micah both graduated with our associates in science, and I think that helped quite a bit in my application to Baylor. And yeah, that's how I believe I got in at least.
Yeah. I completely believe that. Like maybe without Seka kind of set us up pretty well, you know.
Yeah,
As far as actually going to an actual university and then taking those classes, like I thought I had it, and but I didn't. It didn't really set me up for that. Like the classes were way harder. Like I mean, insanely harder. That was the community college was nothing. But
that's fair. That's fair.
Same thing with the Verto program. It was
Yeah,
like this
no,
was
the Verdo program tickled me, and then when I went to the actual Baylor classes, it punched me.
uh,
mhm. I literally was just sleeping on hammocks over there, just
Yeah,
in nature.
oh, bro,
And
I know
then
you were excited for college, huh?
yep.
mhm,
You got to real college.
I was like, this is great.
mhm,
The first semester was great. It wasn't as academic rigorous as the following ones. Like me and Steven would go bowling and
mhm.
we would
we
have a
had
whole
like
bunch of buddies.
mhm. we had like a pretty set friend group then.
Yeah.
So
Then
yeah. No,
okay,
that's
so
going out. Yeah. Important to note.
Okay,
um
freshman year was mine was pretty tough. I had general chemistry, and that was like for my school. I think it's probably the hardest course, and it could have to do with our teacher didn't even study any kind of chemistry, but instead it was like I can't even. I think it was like Slavic studies or something,
interesting.
Ooh.
right? And you think that they would hire a professor who's actually well versed in that path, that major, but no.
No.
Yeah.
Pretty generalized course.
Yeah.
Funny is that that was actually one of my better classes for that semester. Biology 2, when I took it, that
Mm.
kicked butt.
Biology 2 was fun, but the problem with it on my sake was that I took it in the summer and it's only like a month long and it's still covering the entire semester. So I had an exam like every week. And that's what made it hard.
Yeah.
Mm.
What about your neurology classes? Because I'm sure like that was like gives you an overview of what your guys' majors would be, right? I know the Baylor side would be like that. I don't know how Brandis is
Yeah.
like.
To be honest, the neuro classes are taught by they have some good ones. It's really half and half because you can have the seminars that are like 3 hours long and it's taught by somebody who's like 90 years old. So you could pretty much imagine how that'd be. Um, there's one class, for example, I think it was like NIPSI 17A, Hand and Brain, and James Lackner, amazing guy. I loved his stories, but I couldn't ever recall a single moment from his class that he actually taught about the subject. So when he pulled out that midterm, it was like, yeah, 75% of your grade. Oh, I was quite screwed.
Oof.
Baylor's neuro classes, I liked almost all of them. The one I struggled most with uh, was probably neuropharmacology
Mm.
because with the introduction class didn't really set me up for that one because I when I took the introduction class it covered multiple units like neuroanatomy, sleep, sensation perception, and neuropharmacology. My best subject was neuropharmacology, but then I took the actual class and I was like, this is not for me. And yeah, but my favorite professor was Dr. Schwartz. He taught my effective and sensation perception class, and those were amazing. I think our professors are relatively young, at least for the field, um, and they teach it really well. They're all credible. The class size aren't large at all, so I think that it set me up pretty well. At least the first neuro class.
Was it like the introduction, right?
The introduction class was huge. Don't get me wrong. That was definitely the weed out class.
You
Because
know,
I swear it was like 300 students, and then after that class, I went to like the subcategories, and it became like 15 students.
bro,
Oh my
my
god.
my introduction class was actually so easy, but it was funny because that was the professor I met with who was going to help me get into a lab, and he was so chill. I met him. I was like, "Oh, hi, Professor Donald," or Donald. I said Professor Katz, and he said, "Oh, please call me Don." His name's Donald. He said he's done enough bad things and drugs in his past life to just call him Don. But the first day of class, he told the whole class, he said, if you're not comfortable with getting a C, suggested you leave. And the
Oh,
very
well,
next day, the class cut in half.
that's fair.
It wasn't even that hard, though. He's just a character. He teaches class with his shoes off. I was like, bro, I can't take you serious.
No, but that's fun.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. What about you, Steven? Anything interesting or about your major?
So yeah, of course, I'm the one off here, the little black sheep between the two white sheep here. So yeah, biochemistry. I would say like the introductory general chemistry courses, it give like a small foundation for like all my other classes, but I would say it's not very representative. Like I literally just took my main biochemistry course like just this past semester and took it alongside cell and molecular biology, two in one course. And it really provided like a new insight into my major, I would say. Like just seeing it actually being applied in like a biological perspective and just seeing like the pathways and the modes and mechanisms of just like our DNA replicating, how insulin is actually being driven, like just as a steroid hormone outside, like it's just so interesting to me, and it really shows how we're just so intricately designed in God's eyes, and science just like kind of reveals that to be more of physical attribute that we can all just appreciate.
I kind of feel the same way about like neuroscience. That's why I chose that as my major. Because like the brain is just so intricate. And like you just look around you, literally everything you see was created by a brain, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Literally
like,
Yeah.
talking right now, it's our brains talking about brains.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can all stay on track here.
like when my brain refers to itself, is that third person?
Oh, bruh.
Yeah.
No, that's
So what about
interesting.
you, Isaac? Why did you
Uh,
choose your major? I think me and Micah have
um,
the same idea.
well, I had personal experiences for at least a neurological disorder and my family members. So my curiosity came from my own personal experiences. For instance, one of my family members had epilepsy. I was like, why? What caused it? And I think it was more of the curiosity of why certain things happen made me go towards neuro. And then there's like psychological aspects that could go within neuroscience. So it was also, I liked psychology, but I also rather the biological side.
Mhm.
So that's what drove me to go with neuroscience.
I feel that too because yeah, I've always like looked for an explanation. I feel like especially with the brain, there's so much that's like unsolved. And so I have so many questions that there aren't answers to. So I was like, maybe I'll just find out myself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Be very good research. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's get into like a little like personal. Like just give out a fun fact about yourself, like outside of school.
Um, I like golfing. I really like golfing, but I'm not good whatsoever.
It's true. Me and
Um,
Isaac usually goes sometimes at like the club near here.
I don't appreciate saying it's true.
Uh, but it's so much fun, especially that we get
Yeah,
out of the park. That's
yeah.
my the golf course.
Oh, and I also play. I love playing instruments. I love music. I game. I exercise. So those are my primary hobbies. What about y'all?
I'll be honest. Just this summer, like a few days ago, I started to get back into tennis and also getting into pickleball, and that honestly been very great. You know, found out some friends through that, and just like started learning, like just being more active because that's especially like the harder part about being away on summer break. It's just like just being stationary, being still.
Yeah,
But this really gets me active and moving in the off season.
Yeah.
And then I also do play an instrument as well, but it's more the more Legend of Zelda fans would know where it is. It's called an ocarina, and so it's more like a the way I always explain it. It's like an oval like shaped flute, and I don't know. It's just like so fun to play on. It was my little COVID hobby. Now I'm still bad at it, but been getting better.
In
Been my
progress,
favorite ones.
progress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
I played pickleball last summer, and it was so fun. But I, for the life of me, cannot play tennis. I think it's this like the spring on the ball. I can't time it right, and I can't maneuver that huge racket.
no, because let me tell you, I'm also playing a little bit of ping pong because Isaac did give me a gift, and I've been using it more lately again. And
nice,
oh
nice.
my, like it's all like to like the regular naked eye, it's all like just regular motions, like like the same paths,
Yeah,
but all just feels so different, especially like the different ball, the table, like the your playing field, and like how hard and soft you need to like hit it. It's
yeah.
like all mentally there, and it like messes me up. I swear.
They're like, I swear the grip's different on this.
uh-huh.
Yeah, like the thing about ping pong is that like the paddle actually matters. Like
Hmm.
high key is the grip on it, being able to like spin the ball, and then I mean obviously the
Mhm.
technique you use as well, but the quality of the equipment you use matters so much.
Yeah,
Even the ball.
no. But ping pong is fun. I went me and Steven would play it like our freshman year, and then we
Mhm.
played it for a while. I think the the last semester I was at Baylor is where we didn't play it much at all.
Mm,
Because we were like all just busy. I'm
Yeah,
usually in Moody, the
our
library for the
our
nights.
course load was crazy that semester.
yeah, but starts to get you got to drop all your hobbies.
No, it's true, and especially if you're working during it,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's not great.
Speaking of that, for me, well, a little fun fact about me. Some fun facts. I used to have like a lot of hobbies, but I feel like as time went on, like, I used to skateboard. I played instruments a little bit. I really like the piano. That's the only one that I really keep up with at least a little bit. Music's also a big part of my life. I love singing, but and skateboarding, which Isaac put me onto and quit.
Yeah, I didn't quit like that soon, bro. I was on it for at least like a year or two.
Yeah, a good while, but then
Yeah, it's
you
not
left.
like I just like, oh, let's start skating and quit.
Like, it was with good reason too. The injuries just kept
Yeah,
piling.
no, yeah, I did a trick. I was trying to do a blunt stall and then I fell and then I swear I fractured my elbow, but I just did not get it checked. It's fine now. But then what's it called? I went like a few months, like 6 months later, I was like, I'll try it again. I do it, and then it was not a great experience. Something happened, and I was like, never again.
It's a little curse sport.
Yeah,
Oh, curse.
I became a little ice cream cone, is what I'll say.
Ooh. Mhm.
But
Well, no, it's a what's a popsicle stick?
yeah, popsicle
Yeah,
stick.
yeah,
Besides all that, though, with like with the hobbies I had past tense.
Mm.
I think I realized the importance of sleep and how I never got enough. So,
And especially as neuro majors.
Yeah, no,
right?
you learn it and you're like, well, sleep debt is real.
Uh-huh.
Yo, like when we had the lecture about what it did to your brain, they showed the picture. I actually like cried a little.
You're like, this, I could have been so much better.
Yeah, because like now I'm like, I don't have the time to sleep. It's still I should have took that sleep when I could.
Yeah, you study sleep and then they don't let you sleep. It's a problem.
Yeah.
Of our society and that.
So I learned how to sleep with my eyes open.
Bruh.
Is there a difference in that, or because I'm sure it just stays the same? It's just your eyes are now more light prone.
Yeah.
You know,
They're probably also dry unless you're blinking. I don't know. I've never really researched open eyes while sleeping.
I could imagine it like those both being right. You definitely wouldn't be able to. Well, I'm not really sure, but I don't think you'd be able to remember anything that happens because you know you are sleeping.
Mm-hmm. You're
And
just only slightly alert.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like if somebody were to clap in front of you or just wave their hand in front of you, you wouldn't react. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of sleeping, have y'all ever
Have you ever sleep? No.
you ever sleep? You ever sleepwalk?
No.
Um, from what I know, no.
I used to do that really bad.
Ooh. Hmm. I was gonna say there is a big problem of me, like, and I'm sure there's like a problem for other people too, but it's like you ever get that moment back in like high school or middle school where your mom will wake you up and will talk to you and like just waking you up and you're like talking back as well, but you have no recollection and you just immediately fall back to sleep.
Yeah.
Middle school, I still do
I was like, that was yesterday.
it this morning.
But no, I swear it's like an adapted response. Like yeah, we're just gonna like talk back, you know, a little bit, respond, let them know that yeah, no, we're kind of awake, but then we're gonna still maximize our sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom like gets so mad at me for that because she's like, I literally told you, and I'm like, you woke me up and said something immediately after I woke up. There's no way I'm remembering that.
Give me like 10 to 15 business days, bro.
Like what?
No, not even they. My mom's like telling me that she had like a full blown conversation with me, and that I was up, and I was like, oh no, I wasn't.
What are you
You're like,
talking
you're
about?
lying.
Hey, you're lying. So I
You think
literally told her
I
the
start
next
praying.
time. Next time that happens, just full on splash water on my face.
Yeah. I mean, you're a heavy sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
What does it? Like, do you wake up easily?
Sometimes there was a day when I was younger where where something was happening outside in the apartment complex in the middle of the night, and like my dad caught them and like straight up yell at them. Like this guy was like breaking into a car or something. And my dad was just like straight up yelling like, "Hey, I'm gonna call the cops on you!" Like full on blown, and that everyone else in the complex would just like woke up. Meanwhile, I'm just in my bed, just like chilling in my blankets, just
Wrapped up.
You're
snoring.
like, this is great.
I feel like that might have been because it was a familiar voice, so you kind of just off.
But
Everybody else is like, "Who's this man screaming outside?"
Even then, but just like being alert to like louder noises that usually won't happen, right?
Yeah.
But,
No, I'm a heavy sleeper unless someone bangs on my door.
well, I can tell so many stories of Isaac being a heavy sleeper. Literally, alarms be like full on blown, like ship sirens, and this guy would still sleep through it.
Oh yeah, I believe you, bro. Whenever we'd pull over and sleep over his house sometimes, and like waking this guy up in the morning was impossible.
Like, leave me alone, bro. I'm trying to nap.
You know, he could be on the floor, and you'll wake up with his foot like just across your neck. This guy just like
I wasn't asleep, bro.
You just hey, wait, listen here. were definitely asleep.
I mean, he was pretty good at that one sleepover where we unfortunately had to be on like the floor just sleeping.
Yeah.
But I think I was pretty bad that day. I was on top of someone.
Snoring.
Yeah, no, snoring. Oof. Hmm.
Snoring
Someone,
is bad, I feel like, though. I think it's normal. But this man, Isaac's a different breed.
yeah.
I don't snore, bro. I'm
Now,
perfect.
you don't snore, you do backflips in your sleep.
Yeah,
I do backflips, bro.
Yeah.
that's true.
Cap.
Or you wake up, not even, I would wake up. You don't wake up. And I see you in a different position every time. Like half your
I've
body's off.
gotten better. I've gotten better.
Yeah, it's good. You need to, man. Because,
Yes. Yes. I have a woman now, so I have to be better.
yeah. You got to sleep cautiously.
Yeah.
Yeah, waking up was impossible. We're like, yo, like, you ready to go? Let's go skateboard. And
Nah.
wouldn't even. His alarm too. Oh, crazy.
Yeah, and I'm the one that makes the plan.
Yeah, it's your plan. Everybody woke up on time. I'm just
Dang it.
knocking.
I'm like, oh yeah, let's go like 9 o'clock, 8 a.m. And they're like, bet.
1 p.m. He wakes up.
Bro, why didn't y'all wake me up?
Yo, we tried. He did so much. I think one time you got up, put on clothes. We like went to brush our teeth or something. We came back. You were fully undressed, back in your pajamas in bed.
That's actually funny.
Yeah, but I guess we can attest that Isaac is always on his good on his sleep debt.
Yeah, sleep's
like
important. Sleep's important.
Very important. Something I have yet to learn or practice.
Okay. Well, all right. We have 10 minutes left, so let's wrap it up with what's one thing you wish you told yourself at the beginning of your journey?
I think Micah volunteered himself for that one.
Oh, this is okay. You just put me on the spot. I was like, oh, this is a good question. I'm gonna have to think about it for a while. Okay. For me, I've been thinking a lot lately on how fast I've already become a senior in college, and like reflecting on the times that people have told me, like, really enjoy your time in college, like day by day, but they never told me why. So like, I guess I didn't try hard enough because I never understood why.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just because it really passes by so quick. You know, had I done that, had I been explained that prior to attending university, or maybe I would have like enjoyed more days, like the days that I slept in and did nothing. I probably would have just went and walked around Boston or something.
Yeah.
Did something productive.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
And I guess for me, I don't know. I'm like always a person who like worries about the future. So it'd probably be best for them to not tell me anything. Just, like,
please no.
oh yeah. But you know, I guess the one thing I wish someone told me about would be to definitely like don't be as relaxed as I am, because I would say like my upbringing, I would usually be lazy. Like I just like to do my work, and once I do my work, I'm like, okay, I'm done. Like that's all I want to do. And so I didn't really have like anything outside of the house to do. I would say back for majority of middle school, like I still did like soccer. I ended up being on like the football team and lacrosse team for my high school, but I still took like a very relaxed like state. And so I just like wish someone told me like, hey, like you should like take advantage of this opportunity, or like, hey, like you actually are smarter than you actually think you are. So take some more AP classes than that one-off joke AP class. Because AP Euro was really, really easy, I would say. But just like basically like, hey, just be a little bit more hardworking. And I think that would definitely help me adjust more in my junior year, because junior year really, really made me transform in that aspect of just like dealing with all these responsibilities.
Yeah.
Just to add to like what you said, it might have, for me, I don't know, because some people told me that. So like high school, I worked my butt off, and I was gonna work my butt off for college too. But I felt like when I got to college and saw how much, like how hard I was working and how lax everything else was, I relaxed too much, you know?
Yeah, that was
And
me
like
too.
I did like the bare minimum to just get by and pass so I could to like enjoy the whole experience. But it ended up biting me back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because I would say too, for my like first 2 semesters of college, I was basically doing nothing. I was that relaxed. Usually, like everyone in mine and Isaac's friend group would just like see me just chilling about like with no work, and I would just be like super talkative to them. No, it was like definitely more of a social phase of my life.
Mm.
But looking back, it was still well needed, I would say.
I think I spent too much time socially, but like I kind of mixed the two. But I wish I kept them separately because my friends always make those comments like, how are you able to study right now? Like we're all in here laughing, like making loud jokes and everything. Like you're on your computer, and then every now and then you look up, you say something, and then go back. But I feel like efficiently working on that work, in that kind of space, probably wasn't the best for me. Still, I should have separated the two.
They're definitely relatable to that. But what about you, Isaac? And then do you want to close this out too?
Yeah. Well, I did pretty my first semester, especially after Costa Rica, I did not lock in until the next semester after. So I'm gonna sound generic, but I would say lock in a bit more because you're gonna hate yourself whenever you get to see your final GPA. Um, but it's fine. Um, I would also say try to be a little bit more social, get into more clubs, um, like network a bit more because it's definitely will help later on.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely how I feel the whole college experience to be too. You're
Yeah,
paying for both the degree and more networking,
yeah.
easier access. Mm-hmm.
The
Um,
networking is definitely a big part.
yeah.
What club do you think you would have joined, or you should have joined?
Ooh, there's a lot of clubs. I wanted to join like a running club maybe, or like at the neuroscience one. I forgot what it's called, but there was a committee for it. I just never applied.
Mm-hmm.
You should have joined for a little bit with me and Cade for Christian Pre-Health Fellowship.
Yeah, that would have been good.
I know Cade sadly left us after a bit, but I stayed, and it was such a good experience. Just being
Yeah,
so scared too. Oof. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Wish my
Well,
school club actually.
all right. We should probably get closing this out. So, y'all can join us on our next episode, and that would be talking about the effects on with AI and with regard healthcare, education. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna talk about more than that, but yeah,
Yeah, it will be a very good leadway. And just, yeah, gonna be hitting the ground running next week.
yeah, we're gonna discuss multiple research papers, and we're gonna talk about how we feel about it, why we find them interesting, and other aspects of
That outro sounded like the first day of my chemistry class. She was like, "Yep, we're just gonna skip the syllabus and hit the ground running." I was like, "No."
it. You're like, please stop it.
Yeah, the very first day, I
The
was like, "No."
PTS.
Yeah, no, I'm not good with outros.
And thank y'all for tuning in.
Yeah,
Good.
join us on the next one. Goodbye.
This is Outside the Lab podcast. Take care. Good
Deuces.
morning, good afternoon, good night.